Good afternoon. How are we doing now? I'm going to move around here and I'm going to keep this session very conversational. It's not going to be a keynote. It's going to be for you, by you all. I'm going to just be usher here. Are we okay? Yeah? Sounds great? All right. I love the energy. Superb. Awesome. I think Shobhat has been very kind with me. This morning he gave me the key start of the session. And this afternoon I have to keep up the momentum, what my colleague Stephen has said it. So let's try to do that. All right. I want to ask all of you, what do we desire in life? What do we want in life? Some responses? Yeah? Beautiful. Lovely, $100 million. Wow. Some more responses. What do we want in life? No? Nothing? We all are very content? Yep, coming there. And superb.
And happiness and abundance.
Lovely. Lot of responses. Awesome. Awesome. Yes.
The contentment in life.
Contentment. Wow, it's flowing. Absolutely. I told it. I love the MoRE conference.
More babysitters so I could travel more.
All right. Lovely. Now, what is the thread? What is the common thread? I heard so many different responses. But what is the common thread? What is the starting point? MoRE? Mm-hmm. All right, the starting point here is everything in life, whatever you want to do, everything requires us to take actions, isn't it? Now, from where do we take this action? It all starts with the mindset. It all starts with the mindset. It is the mindset which leads. The thoughts leads to the feelings. Feelings leads into the action. And that results into excellence. Oops. Oh, I need some help here. Please stuck. Some help, please. While you help me, I will continue. No, I'm trying to move the next one. So anyway, let him help. We'll keep up the energy. So, what I'm trying to say is there are many, many experiments which have been done, which actually proves in that it is the mindset which results into everything. There's a beautiful experiment which was been done by Alan Langford, who actually tells us the reverse aging starts So there was a beautiful experiment which was been done by Alan Langford, who actually said that if you want to actually try out on reverse aging, you can actually condition the surroundings around it, and it can help. There was another experiment which was been done, which was all about the happiness. We all want to be happy, and it was like happiness is 50% genetic, 40% of happiness. It's all about your mindset towards that, and 10%, only 10% is about the actual circumstances. Now, I'm going to do one experiment with all of you. All right? Yeah? Because I know some of you would be like, well, I don't believe in those studies. Neither do I. So let's try and see what comes up here. So let's get on a journey. I want all of you to close your eyes just for a moment. All right? Close your eyes. Imagine you are all set to be traveling to a destination where you really wanted to go. And you are late for your flight. You are really rushing through. Somehow you have really made it. You have cleared the immigration and everything. As you enter the flight, there is a pilot who smiles at you. And then there's a flight attendant, air hostess, who actually guide you towards where to sit. You exchange the pleasantry with your co-passenger, and then you start on the flight. As you start on, you land, you're into your destination where you want it to be. You're sipping a cup of coffee, and besides you hear a couple who's celebrating their anniversary. Turn around, you smile. Now, I want all of you to open your eyes. Anyone would like to share what was the age of the pilot? Was the pilot male or a female? Which destination were you traveling? What was the couple age and which year of the anniversary they were celebrating? Anyone? Anyone? You guys had dream about it. I mean, you were with me on the journey. Anyone? I see you smiling.
I dreamed, you said, what did I dream about? That the pilot, how he was? They were happy. Happy. Yes. Africa.
What was the age of the
A couple? I don't think I've seen a couple. I just seen myself.
That's lovely. Now, if you guys would have been really with me on this journey, each one of you would have experienced it differently. Why is it so? Few of you would have been to that place, few of you would not have been to that place. But each one of you would have experienced it differently because our thoughts, our patterns are really influenced, are really shaped up by what we see around, isn't it? And that's where the mental modes are formed. So that's why it's very, very important to understand where we are as is. If I want to go to Burj Khalifa and if I'm looking out for a taxi here, I can't be standing in the Singapore Chai Chi lane and looking out for a cab. I would not get there, isn't it? So it's very, very important to really understand where we are right now as is, where do we want to go, and which direction we would be taking. Define, direct, decide. And that's what we are going to be doing, each one of you. I promise you it's going to be a very exciting journey because it's going to be led by you, and you are going to be one who is going to be on this journey. Each one of you post 10-15 minutes of our discussion here, of our dialogue, conversation here, would be actually be able to identify what are your empowering beliefs and what is something which is limiting you. Yeah? Ideal home. Too many questions, right? What does the ideal home look like? What does the ideal home feel like? Where you feel loved, where you feel welcome, where you feel everyone listens to you, praises you, and are with you. Now just imagine, would you like to stay in a house, in a home, wherein someone is always telling you, is always like, not listening to you, is always looking down on you? How many of you would like to stay? None? Oh my God, but that's what we do with ourselves every day, every single moment. We are continuously looking at ourselves in denial. You are not good. No, you are not good right now. See, look at that other person. You still are not so good. You can't do it. Our mode of living. Now, this is what, based on my coaching experience with leaders, with educators, and with the golden triangle, which I'm very passionate about, which is educators, parents, and our young future emerging leaders. So working with 5-year-old to my wisdom client of 75-year-old, what I have realized is our life typically goes through those phases. And any point, we would be either on, in one of those phases, we would be traveling. So there's something called you can name it any term, this is what I like calling it. So you can call it as a suppressed or complacent zone. Now what does we really mean here? This is something, I'm at this zone, Stefan, because I want to be here. I think I'm not good enough, but I don't want to let anyone know that. So I just keep on telling everyone that I'm content where I am, and I feel the world is too harsh. The world doesn't give me an opportunity. I feel like a victim. So this is a zone wherein I'm trapped deep into shame, fear, guilt, a lot of pain, a lot of self-denial. Then comes the survival zone, wherein you're continuously in a response, wherein you're continuously competing because you're trying to prove yourself each day. Then comes a zone of a comfort. Slowly, steadily, I've accepted myself. I accepted the yin and the yang in me. How many of you, I would not ask you to show up hands here, you all would know in which zone are you right now? You are in your complacent zone, or are you in your survival zone, or are you in your comfort zone? So for yourself, I would request you to make a mental note for yourself, because this is going to be the building base for our next exercise, which we are going to do. So which zone do you think you are in? The suppressed, complacent, wherein you are in a denial, or continuously trying to prove ourselves, stuck in that fierce competition, or in the comfort zone, wherein I've accepted, but still I'm not in my zone, so I keep on leaning sometimes. Anything which happens in the environment, I keep on leaning back, I keep on traversing back either to suppressed zone or to the zone of survival. Now, this is my favorite zone. People say that, if you are the growth happens out of your comfort. But tell me something. Whatever we invented, right? The air condition, the best gadgets, everything, it's for the comfort, isn't it? Isn't it? Everything we invented was for comfort. So the growth happens when you actually take a leap from the comfort zone. When you move ahead from the comfort zone. If I'm uncomfortable, how the growth can happen? First of all, I'm not even comfortable, right? So the growth happens when you are in your comfort zone, wherein you feel safe, wherein you can express yourself, and you feel enjoy the way I'm enjoying right now with all of you. So what does the power zone means? Power zone means being present in the moment. It means not getting stuck in RNT or ANT. Now, what does RNT and ANT mean here? Repetitive negative thoughts about the past, automatic negative thoughts with too much of anxiety about future. It means I'm present at this moment, the way all of you are present. And I'm not thinking about your stock markets or saving, but you're present here. So being present in the moment. Taking the ownership. I'm sitting in the car, I'm on the driver's seat, and I own the key. I take responsibility of whatever I do. Presenting your whole self, wherein I'm not complaining, not comparing, not criticizing, but I'm focusing on being the better version of myself, what I was yesterday than today. Energy. Very important. We just, don't pay too much of heed to energy, but it's so important to understand, are we governed in our life by energy vampires, energy drainers, or energy givers? Because if there are too many energy drainers around you, you would be completely exhausted. You would not be able to give that energy to your purpose. Then we need to reset ourselves. That what is something I need to change? What is something I need to keep on improving? Now, this all can happen only when you're present in the moment and not. Anyone? ANT and RNT. Yeah? Now, this is exercise we are going to do together. So, I want you, I think there are notepads here. All right, so let's get on to do with this exercise. I want all of you to look at this car. I know it's not very clear, but most of you would be really aware of various terminologies. So, look at this car and think which part of the car you think you are and why. Which part of the car you want to be and why. Which part of the car, now this is a self-image, okay? You want to be, why, you are, why. Which part of the car you think your family, your friends think of you to be and why. And which part of the car your family and friends want you to be and why. Very simple. Yeah? Very simple. So I want you to think about yourself. Which part of the car you think you are and why? Which part of the car your family, friends, and if you want to really go a step ahead, if you're really enthused about this, then you can even think in your workplace. Which part of the car they think you are and which part of the car they would like you to be and why. Yeah, I would pick up one volunteer who would really want to work with me on this exercise. Anyone who would want to walk with me? Yeah? All right, great. Yes, my dear friend.
I'm Sashini.
Hi.
Hi. All right. So how do you want to take this? Okay.
So, which part of the car you think you are and why?
Okay. So I relate myself to my work life, right? And just for the sake of this conversation, I will say I'm the bumper that avoids all the accident, right? And keeps the entire car safe. The part of the car is actually not here. I'd like to be the steering wheel.
You want to be a steering wheel, okay? And why do you want to be?
That basically gives the control where the car needs to go. And personally, I have control on where it wants to go. Yeah.
Beautiful. And which part of the car do you think you would want to impress your family, friends think of you to be? And why? And which part of the car do you think they would want you to be? Thank you.
Oh, sorry. Well, personal life is a bit tough.
Anything. Friends. That's why. Family,
Yeah.
friends, very wide.
No, because tough in the sense, how do I relate? In
You
terms of
think
my,
from their perspective.
from my family's perspective, how do they see me, right? Mirror,
Why?
because more than being present, I always worry about things that happened. So I'm looking back.
Wow, that's really deep. And which part of the car they would want you to be?
Probably the windscreen. Look ahead.
Look ahead.
Yeah.
Now, what is something common thing you could see in whatever you spoke? Is there anything common thread you can see? You said you want to be a steering wheel who has more control. So when do we lose sight of the control? When do we lose that sight? When we are too stuck about...
In the past, when you're
There
stuck in
you
the
go.
past. Yeah.
So if you would want to make a shift, and whatever you want to achieve in life, you know what you want to do. What is an empowering belief you need to expand?
Be in the now.
Being
and
in the
look ahead.
now. So now, again, try to relate for yourself the the three modes what we spoke about. The conflict and the suppressed, the survival, and the comfort. So you know for yourself in which zone you are and where you need to take a leap of faith. Thank you for volunteering. I so appreciate it. So this is a beautiful exercise. I wanted to give something to you, all of you, so that you could use it. And you could do this for anything in life, whatever you want. That what is something which is stopping you from your growth? I mean, if there is any project which you really want to do it, very simple, you know. Just go to the picture and just think, hey, where am I right now? And where I want to be. If I want to go there, what do I need to make a shift? What do I need to change in myself? Because you can't be standing in a New York Times Square and expecting to hear the whisper of someone in the countryside. You need to meet yourself where you are as is. So unlocking the key of excellence, I'm going to give you 3 C's, which are going to really work. But let me tell you, all those 3 C's starts with self-awareness. All right? So don't tell me later on, Puja, it didn't work. It all starts with self-excellence. It all starts with you actually meeting yourself. Very important. We make an appointment with everyone around in the world, but we forget ourselves. Very important. We need to look within. Because when you have the courage to look within, to see, to meet where you are, that's where the true outer excellence comes in. Now, what is the definition of courage? Many people have different definition. For me, it's very simple. Courage is not knowing everything. It's really not knowing anything. It's okay if you don't know, right? But what is important is, it's a distance what you travel from your thoughts to action. I can bet you, I have worked with so many CEOs around the globe. Not all the CEOs would know everything about each and every department, but it's just that they have the courage, they are vulnerable to ask. So, courage is the distance what you travel from your thoughts to action. Courage is when you are able to free yourself from the trap of fear, shame, guilt. Second, compassion. I usually, in my coaching, I would often ask people, please write down the name of 5 people whom you really deeply care and nurture. And in my experience over the years of coaching so many different generations, having that honor of being a co-curator with them, I have always seen they would never list themselves. So don't we care about ourselves because we feel it's being selfish if I really care about myself. Self-care is not being selfish. We all know, we have heard it so many times, but I will still want to drive home that even in flight when you're sitting, they always say, secure yourself first. Yeah? So compassion is wherein you draw the boundaries for yourself, not for others. The boundaries are never for others, it's for yourself. Then connection. It's so important to align within yourself. What's going on? Am I okay? Am I not okay? Am I feeling too little about myself? And then you connect externally. So very important. Courage, compassion, connection. These are the keys of excellence. Now, I'm going to share a little bit about myself. What really helped me activate my compass? So my journey started from a hardcore business family. I was the first professional in my hardcore non-English speaking business family. So I used to be a very, very good student and a very good orator back in my countryside. When my dad decided to expand his business, he moved in. And I was so fond of speaking that, and I used to always think that I'm a very good speaker. So back from that countryside, I'm talking when I was like 8-year-old. So I stood up and I started speaking a little bit in my native language, a little bit in English. And I realized that everyone around me is mocking. And at that time, if I would have hung up my boots, I wouldn't have had that honor and opportunity to be present with all of you. So every version of our life would need different and better version of ourselves, we are continuously work in progress. If we believe with that and we approach with that mindset, the life is going to be really beautiful. Don't let the outer noise be your inner voice. So my mom is a cancer conqueror. I call it to be a conqueror, and she is the one actually who drove my interest in personal leadership, because I felt when I was heading the human resources of one of the finest and the biggest MNC in the world, I really felt that leadership is not about the titles. Leadership is all about you as a person, and it first starts with you. So everyone around us said, like, oh, she lost her dad at an early age, now her mom is a cancer conqueror, is fighting cancer, the life is being so unfair to them. If I would have let all that energy drain is inside me, we know where I would have landed. So never let the outer noise be your inner voice. If someone thinks you are not a good speaker, that's their viewpoint. If someone thinks you're not good at it, take the feedback, but have more as a feed forward and work on it. Now this is my favorite. Grass is greener, not on the other side, my dear friends, but on the side where you're going to water it continuously and consistently. If you're going to water it consistently, saying that, I'm surrounded with so many negative people, life is being unfair, nothing is happening, so shall it be. But when you change your focus, when you change your lens, the grass is greener on the side where you're going to water it consistently. Every exit is an entry somewhere. So when I moved my careers from corporate human resource to coaching to be mentored by John Metton, who happens to be ex-coach of Steve Jobs, I never thought that he is going to mentor me on a scholarship basis and I'm going to be the director of his organization. So when I decided to take a leap of faith, moving from the corporate world to being the youngest Master IL, this is what I have understood, that every exit is an entry somewhere. Approach the life with the gardener mindset and not with the carpenter mindset. Now we all have heard about so many different types of mindset, fixed mindset, growth mindset, but this is something my favorite. You just see a gardener, very simple. You know, in the garden there are rose, lilies, so many flowers. I will not say, hey Rose, you are not growing, you are not really nurturing well, from tomorrow onwards I'm not going to water you. No, right? He would try and see, what is something different I can do? How can I ensure that I change the condition around so that it can really nurture? So approach life with a nurturer mindset and not with a carpenter mindset. Try to belong rather than fit in. Because when you fit in, you lose your identity. So embrace who you are and try to belong in. We need to be not only the CEO of our lives, but even CIO of our lives, Chief Inspiration Officer of our life. Now, before I end, I want to end with a very small story. Now, this is a story, probably we know the characters of the story. So this is a story about Shobit, about Arindam, and about Alanka. So Shobit was really trying to gather people for this conference. And while he was doing this, he was so tired, exhausted. Every time, he was so tired and exhausted, and whatever he would do, he was not able to relax in. And they used their influence, from the health conference, and they tried to visit the best doctor, everything, but nothing was working for Shobit. And then someone said, like, in education conference, I heard a monk. So why don't you go to that monk? That monk has a little unconventional style, but it really works. Shobit was like, a monk? How would a monk really help me here? So he visited the monk because Arindam, Jatin, they all forced him. Shobhat, we have a conference coming in. We have a lot of people globally coming in. You need to really go. So Shobhat said, okay, fine, let me go there. The monk said, Shobhat, hey, there is Shobhat. So, hi Shobhat, I was just telling about you. So Shobhat said, okay, I'm going to go to the monk. And the monk said, Shobhat, whatever you're going to see from today, you're going to see everything green in color. Everything green in color. And then Shobhat's team really tried hard and they said everything Shobhat has to see everything green in color. And that's where even the monk has visited. And, they dropped the green bucket on the monk. And they said because monk had advised whatever he needs to see green in color. Monk being monk, he really smiled at Shobhat and he said, Shobhat, don't you think the simpler approach would have been, you have used so many resources, you have wasted everything, that you should have changed your lens and you should have made it green in color? So sometimes we want to change everything around us and we feel nothing is working. But the simplest solution, my dear friends, is just to pause, look within, activate your inner compass. Because mindset, personal transformation leads to excellence. Thank you so much for your kind attention and wonderful energy. I so enjoyed working with you in your excellence journey. Thank you so much.